What are we hearing? What is the motivation behind this decision? And I can imagine that if you're an American citizen living in Shanghai and seeing diplomatic staff essentially being evacuated, how you might feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's a curious move because the US, last week was telling its diplomats if they wanted to leave, they could. But this is a step further, sort of ordering them out. I mean, they do have a duty of care towards their staff, and that might be motivating this. But it definitely has poked the bear, triggering quite a bristling response from China. They see it as a criticism of their very strict COVID-0 policy toward the virus that is still in place in most parts of China, and they have pushed back.
Yeah, I mean, the lockdown in Shanghai was supposed to be lifted for a few people, but give us an update on what the situation is like, especially with broader virus restrictions across the country as well.
Yeah, I mean, what we're understanding from our reporters in Shanghai is that it is largely still in a state of lockdown. Just under 50% of the geographical area of Shanghai did have some of those restrictions eased. But apparently for people in those areas, which doesn't just exclusively hold apartments and residential complexes, a lot of industrial areas as well. Apparently for a lot of those people, nothing is open. There aren't logistics or supply chains in place. So it's not as though shops are open. So it does still feel very much like a sort of blockaded and isolated city for many people. And with the majority of the city still in lockdown, still being subjected to the mass testing that is quite central to Shanghai's response. We have seen a tailing off in the cases from over 26,000 infections on Sunday to just over 22,000 yesterday. Whether that persists, as we get further into the week, is something to watch. What is quite interesting is that most of these cases are already in isolation. China, of course, isolates all close contacts and all confirmed cases of COVID as part of that COVID-0 policy of trying to really stem infection. So that could be a sign that we are looking at a reduction in spread in the community in Shanghai and potentially a way out of this soon.